In November of 2007, BioWare released Mass Effect, a game that can succinctly be classified as a science fiction action role-playing third-person shooter video game. In November this year, Mass Effect will be a decade-old title responsible for the creation of an entire franchise of space exploration games. While this series has known its ups and downs since that first November release, what I really want to talk about today is that eponymous first installment, Mass Effect. Upon release, Mass Effect was met with critical acclaim. The game received praise for its cinematic presentation and deeply interactive storyline, but many reviewers acknowledged several caveats. The combat, vehicles, and inventory system prevented the title from truly excelling. This praise has stayed mostly strong, though in more recent years, players have expressed disdain in the game's aging graphics and gameplay. But you know, that's just like their opinion, man. And in this series, I want to encourage you to form your own informed opinion. To do this, I think we should start with a rundown of the fundamentals of Mass Effect. Mass Effect is heavily story-driven. You play as Commander Shepard, a character who you design and decide for throughout the story. You're in charge of your Shepard and how they interact with the other characters throughout the game. This, in turn, affects the story down the line. If you choose to do or say something cruel to someone, chances are the person won't be so fond of you in the future. As Commander Shepard, your goal is to save the universe from the Reapers, an ancient race of spaceship machine monsters that are believed to annihilate space civilization every 50,000 years. To stop this, you must travel the galaxy, from solar system to solar system, and command your crew on the planets that you find. For most of the game, you're chasing after an alien known as Saren, who is working to aid the Reapers. Through following his footsteps, you will discover many of the mysteries of past civilizations and their extinctions. Mass Effect's species and alien civilization jargon takes some getting used to, but once you've got a handle on it, there's a gripping galaxy for you to explore and a grand epic awaiting you. Through your exploration in Mass Effect, you will spend a lot of time talking with citizens and curious specimens scattered about through the many planets. You chat with them using a conversation wheel that cleverly keeps you involved in each back and forth you run across. These conversations are excellently presented, and to this day, many games attempt to emulate this simple yet cinematic dialogue system. That's one of the strongest things that Mass Effect has going for it, in fact. Every cutscene and simple discussion is shot more like a film than other role-playing games of the time, and it works very well. When you are not walking from conversation to conversation, you will most likely be in combat. Mass Effect is a third-person shooter, so gunplay is important, but you will also always have a small team with you that you can tactically command around the battlefield. Finding appropriate cover and working with your team to take out an onslaught of enemies can be satisfying, but you will often find yourself hindered by the game's varied clunky elements. For example, tactically commanding your squad sounds excellent in concept, but in practice, the AI you're paired with tend to not be so smart. They will pop out of cover and refuse to get out of enemy gunfire until they're dead, and many battles will end with you as Shepard taking out the last couple of enemies if you're not careful about what your squad is doing. And that cleanup may not be as simple as you would like. RPG elements mean missing simple body shots because the game did not feel like hitting on that specific shot. Stat buffs and special abilities can help, of course, but Mass Effect's combat is not strong. I'd also like to take a moment to talk about the Mako. Mako? Mako? I don't know. This infamous vehicle will be transporting you on the land throughout Mass Effect. Control is extremely sensitive and bugged. It is easy to overcompensate when making a correction and drive into a wall or off a ledge. It has a machine gun, a cannon to shoot with, and propulsion jets to get a bit of air with. With the difficult controls, it's amazing to believe that you're expected to involve yourself in combat with this thing. I have nothing good to say about this death trap. So now, at the end of this analysis, you've seen the good and the bad, and you've obtained a basic understanding of this title. I'd like to ask you, is Mass Effect good? Or more accurately, does Mass Effect sound good? That's the whole point of this series, of course, to help you, the viewer, determine for yourself if a given game is subjectively good or not. You can use this to inform a purchase or win a friendly debate, I don't mind. There's no wrong answer, and my opinions and biases shouldn't get in the way of your enjoyment or vehement hatred of a given game. Personally, I found Mass Effect to be a mixed bag. The story was fantastic, even if it did take a couple unfinished playthroughs before hooking me, but I found the gameplay to be clunky and lacking polish. The game left me wanting more Mass Effect games though, so you may see some of the sequels pop up here sometime. Leave a comment and let me know your thoughts on Mass Effect. Maybe suggest some games for me to analyze in the future, and leave a like if you enjoyed my verbose blathering.